Okay, so this is probably not going to make any sense to you unless you know exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm starting to really be able to like see the projection screen for the first time. Like, or rather, like, you're always seeing it, I guess, you know, like whether or not you're conscious of it or not, like you are seeing it, but I'm starting to like actually notice when there's changes to what's on the screen projected. Whether it's illusions or whether it's reality, I'm starting to have that like black and white versus color moment really clearly. And I think for ever, I guess, like I would be aware that there was a change happening. Like I would be aware that like, wow, this feels different than it does some of the other times, but I could never really describe what that feeling was. I could never I just knew like, oh, I feel a lot more clear than I usually do, or I don't feel as clear as I used to, that kind of thing. But I couldn't like describe what that is, and I still can't describe what it is. Like, if you've seen it, if you perceive it, then you know what I'm talking about, because this is beyond words. Like I'm telling you that when I feel confused or like unfocused, it's like they say there's a veil. They say like it's like there's a fuzziness to the world, but nothing looks different. Like I can see as clearly now as I can anytime. Yet sometimes I see more clearly. And that makes perfect sense. It makes so much more sense now that I'm seeing like the I've been noticing the switching point more and more as I've focused, as I forced myself to become more and more conscious of my thoughts. As a result, I'm more and more likely to notice the switch because I'm just more conscious more of the time, you know? And who would have thought, obviously, that like hard work and dedication and like making intention to make a change will make a change, but you gotta learn that eventually, I guess. And now it's like I'm really seeing that for the first time. And just like how massive the payoff can be. Because like this has been my problem forever. I've always been like, that's the thing holding me back. I'm unfocused. I can never keep my eye on the ball. Come to find out, you could at any time, and the unfortunate thing is that like you were always told like you just gotta try, you just gotta focus, and that was the answer. You just had to, you know, put in the work. Not saying that's the case for everyone. I'm not everyone, but for me, I just had to try. And to be conscious of the fact that every moment you are thinking. And that's something that like, at least for myself, I always knew, never really spoke or spoke of the fact that like I was deeply terrified of that fact. Like there was something about knowing that like in every moment this consciousness does not go away. Like I might think it does, but like so long as consciousness is aware, it exists, and it always exists so far as your experience has been. Like your existence is only experiencing. That's all that you're like, at least in the physical world, that's all you have. And you can never run away from that. You can distract yourself. You can distract yourself really well, you know? Especially like in the world we live in, where you can just like go to a different land at any time you want in your pocket. Like, but now that I'm making a more conscious effort to remember there's something being thought in every moment. And whether that's a thought of something real or something that I've made up in my head to distract myself from what's really going on. And you may never be conscious of the fact that that's what you're doing, but that's what you are doing. There's something that you're trying to focus on more than anything else, and something always is getting in your way. And it's always a choice, because if you really cared about something, you would do anything for it, you know? So then it becomes a question of, why do I not want to do anything for what I say is the most important thing in my life? And that can be different for everyone, but I think most of us, at some level, know that there's things that we could be doing better, yet we choose not to. And like at a certain point, like if you believe you could be doing more and you're not, then how could you not kind of feel that nagging voice inside, you know? How could you ever be like truly, fully, 100% satisfied knowing there's more that you could do? I'm finding when I am most satisfied, I'm not really there to acknowledge it, you know? Like the moments that you're like, I'm satisfied, that's like those catching your breath kind of moments. And like the longer you sit in that, the longer you're not doing what you know you should be doing. So it's like out of a catch-22. You never could really have that like, wow, I'm doing the right thing moment for long, because it's a perpetual process. That like moment of like, wow, look at me. It's counterintuitive to what you know you need to be doing. Like the person that like needs to perceive themselves with praise is not a person at all. That's ego. And ego can never win. Ego can never be the one that accomplishes anything, because ego never does accomplish anything, you know? Ego's always just the hype man. All talk, no action. And the person that does do the good things, the person that is worthy of the glory, it's so worthy of the glory, it knows it doesn't need the appreciation for it, because it's just doing its duty, it's fulfilling its destiny, it's being the best version of themselves, you know? A lot of different ways you can call it. And yeah, the only way that you can be that best version is by being it in every moment, remembering that you're doing something in every moment. Like whether or not you're like really there, because like sometimes you might be scrolling but thinking of like 3 different things at the same time, so your mind is pulled in like 4 different directions, so you're not really focused on anything, and like it just, time is allowed to slip by, but you still have to get back to like the real world. That deep need still needs to be fulfilled. And like whether or not you feel it in the moment right now, you're going to feel you're going to pay for it. That's maybe a bad way to say it, but you get the results of your thinking eventually. You just gotta remember. You gotta remember and remember and remember. So much easier said than done, you know? This was kind of all over the place. What are you going to do, though, you know? I keep saying that a lot, don't I? Oh, well. Peace.